Hi, so my name is Nicola. I was diagnosed with DLBCL lymphoma at the end of May in 2017, and I started treatment on the 1st of June, and the regime I had was Arcodox R-IVAC. When I look back before diagnosis, I think I was experiencing fatigue associated with lymphoma, but that's only retrospectively. The biggest experience of fatigue, and I guess what we're going to talk more about, is the fatigue I experienced through chemo and as a result of the chemo. So that obviously, with a regime like Arcodox R-IVAC, that pretty much started the day after the first day of chemo. I think the main difference, and my description of fatigue versus tiredness, is with fatigue, it's like you hit a wall. With normal tiredness, you can, if you push yourself, push through. With fatigue, you just can't. Everything stops. So it's a physical thing and it's an intellectual thing. In between cycles, the fatigue was really dramatic. But in some ways, that's less impactful because you're in between cycles, so life's on hold anyway. It certainly was for me because it was an inpatient regime. After chemo, it affects you because you can't, I guess all the way through treatment, you're desperate to get back to your normal life. And you finish treatment and you think, great, life starts, but it kind of doesn't. It very, very gradually revs up to where it was before. So it affected me. So if I got out of hospital towards the end of last August, and it affected me in a sense that I could probably only, for the first month, do one major thing a day. I, of course, had to speak to my husband about it, and we spoke at length about it all the way through. But I think, like me, he was half expecting that once treatment was over, we could ramp up to normal life quite quickly. And I remember once having to say to him, Adam, when I say I'm tired, what I really mean is I can't actually continue to function in any useful capacity. So I may as well just go and be asleep because I can't even make sense of what I'm saying. I can't carry on being. I just need to sleep. And I think then he got it. And he's now the biggest, even now, he will say on a weekend, right, 1 o'clock, go and have a nap. So he's now become kind of, the nap police, which is wonderful. Coping mechanisms, definitely scheduling napping. It's a bit like having a newborn where they have specific times. Like I knew that I would have to have a nap at 1 o'clock every day. So when I did get busier and I was out of hospital, I made sure that that was literally almost in my diary, that happened. So that helped. Be preemptive about it as well. Don't wait until you're absolutely exhausted. Just know that you need a preemptive nap, as I used to call them. And don't overcommit, and this is something I've found incredibly hard because I think this is one of the biggest challenges of suffering from fatigue post chemo, because you've got your life back, you've got life, which is amazing, and you're desperate to throw yourself into it. The biggest thing for me is frustration. It's a frustration at not being able to operate at the level I used to, and that's quite a massive life adjustment, both in personal life and professional life as well. So what I do now is I commit to far less than I used to, which is frustrating and is really at conflict with how you feel when you've come through a cancer treatment, because you just want to, as I've said before, you want to cram as much into your life as possible, personally and professionally, because you don't know how long you've got. And that's that's the way I've always been. But I think, good friends and a husband who's got the patience of a saint get you through it. I'd have 4 pieces of advice, I think. The first would be listen to your body, which was the most useful piece of advice given to me. The second is schedule your naps and your rest as if there's something that you're committing to in your calendar, because then they will happen. You won't feel guilty for doing it, which is a strange emotion that you still go through even though you've had a serious illness. Don't rely on sugar and caffeine to get you through whatever you do, because that will not work and it backfires. And then I think more fundamentally, what I've had to learn to do is measure my time in quality, not quantity. So it's probably better that I've had a 2-hour nap and then only 1 hour with my daughter than 3 hours of me being depleted. I went back to work in January, so that was 4 months after treatment finished. When I think back to the first couple of months I was at work, I was still, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, pretty depleted and not much use to anyone. And over time, so we're 6 months further down the line now, I can very, very easily do a full day at work. I can now do something in the day at a weekend, and I can even go out on an evening, which is quite exciting to be able to do 2 things. And yeah, we're travelling a lot this summer. We're making up for the fact I was incarcerated last summer. We've just had a week in Italy, which was amazing, and I only had to have a couple of little snoozers to keep me going. And we're off to France soon, and lots of holidays, lots of quality time, and yeah, just enjoying life.